Okay, Charlotte's birthday is coming up on Friday. She just arrived. She's getting groceries, bringing them in. I've been tidying up in the kitchen, getting ready for filming. What she doesn't know is that I brought her a present. I'm gonna give it to her on camera today, so you'll get to see that. And she doesn't know. I love surprises. There it is. It's in there.
Hi, I'm Charlotte from Freezer Meals 101.
I'm Christy, and today we are doing a meatball extravaganza. But first, I have something that I have to say. Because actually, funny enough that we were talking about this morning, but Charlotte's birthday is coming up. And I might have something tucked away for her.
No way!
That you can choose to open it on camera, and I think you should, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
We were totally talking about it this morning.
Talking about my birthday. Okay, I'm gonna open on camera. This is that was a total surprise.
It totally was a surprise.
Yeah, I did not know. And I was actually out getting the groceries this morning when Christy arrived at my house, so I did not see her bring that in.
It's true.
Oh, it looks all homemade.
It is. It's from a farmer's market.
That's a beautiful card. Aww. That's so nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm not usually a hugger, but
We're not. For as close as we are,
yeah.
we're not super huggers. If we've hugged at the end of big freezer meal sessions. Partly because we are talking about some stuff.
Heavy emotional stuff.
Heavy emotional stuff, and they're heavy days, and they're a lot of work, and you just end it with a hug sometimes. And she saves her paper.
Yeah, I do.
It's good paper. And it's reversible. It's a nice paper.
Well, it's a good thing I'm saving it then.
Totally.
I'm not doing so well there. If I can just get my nail under. This is probably not the best part to do on camera. I can fast forward this part. Oh, I almost did it without ripping.
It's okay.
But there. Ooh, it is reversible. Very nice. Oh, what is it? Ooh, more tissue paper.
I know. I love wrapping presents.
She is funny. Okay, it is. You guys are going to be happy about this.
Measuring cups. They're Tupperware, and they're the vintage style,
and
but they're pink.
That's so cute.
And I got a matching set because I just love them so much. And so now my old blue set, they'll just be in my bag forever. I'll just bring them back.
That's so perfect. And there's even, I've been missing one of mine forever.
And periodically you have other ones that take little vacations from your cupboard.
That's true. Oh, see, I have measuring cups. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's so
Keep
awesome.
going.
Oh, there's more? Oh, I just thought I was getting measuring cups. Ooh, a book. You must know me. Paris for One and Other Stories.
It's a series of short stories about women falling in love, but they're all about finding their strength in themselves.
Ooh.
In being a good partner. It's a really lovely book. I had the audiobook for it, and the whole time I'm like, oh, I know what I'm giving Charlotte for her birthday.
Yay! And I have a trip coming up in a few weeks, and so I will be able to read, because normally I don't have time, but I love to read. Love to read. I'm actually just finishing. It's taken me like 3 months, but I'm just finishing A Man Called Uva. It's spelled O-V-E, so I thought it was Ove, but Christy corrected me.
I listened to the audiobook, and in the audiobook they pronounce it Uva. It's by a Swedish author called Fredrik Backman, and I watched the movie. They have a Swedish subtitled movie, and you should watch it now after. And it's
I'm like,
and they call him
I'm
Uva.
20 pages away from being done this book finally, and and I already cried this morning, like, because it's just so like
it's a
heartwarming. It's beautiful. Okay, anyway, this is not what I thought we were going to do in our meatball video, but...
We're going to have book club first and a birthday party, and then we can start talking about meatballs.
And then we can do meatballs. Oh, that was so fun. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aw, and now I have measuring cups for today to make meatballs.
Yep.
Okay, you're going to see these when we're making meatballs and be like...
And you'll be reminded of our friendship.
This is true. And they're pink. Like how... Aw. Okay, now I'm like at a loss for words, which doesn't happen very often. If you've watched us for a while,
It never happens to me. What are we doing today? We're talking about meatballs.
We're talking meatballs. And okay, so how this video came about, I don't know if you care or not.
We're gonna tell you.
We're gonna tell you anyway. And you know, you can fast forward to the actual recipes if you don't care about this part, but we made in our big mega session freezer meals, if this is the first video you've ever watched of us, we are friends and neighbors. We've been doing meals together for 10 years. Before that, we were
Doing them on our own.
And so we get together once every 3 months to make like 3 months worth of freezer meals. And so we call those our mega sessions. And in one of them, like we always like to try new recipes in those.
Otherwise, how are we going to show you new recipes if we don't try them first?
Totally. And how are we going to discover like our next favorites?
Aha.
Because we have done that over and over and over. And just when we think it can't get any better,
there's new favorites.
Yes.
And recently there's been new favorites.
Oh, yeah.
This is
like,
funny.
We're actually working on a video of our favorites.
Our top 10. It was a suggestion in our viewer comments. So
yes.
we do look at them and we thought that's a great idea.
And we're having a hard time deciding.
Because there are so many. So we're going to have our top 10, but then there'll be some honorable mentions.
5 each, but we're having a hard time narrowing it down to 5. Like we could each do easily 10.
Oh yeah.
But we're trying to make it like a digestible video. So anyway,
back to the meatballs.
Meatballs. So in one of our mega sessions, we tried Meatball Subs.
Mm-hmm.
And
they were a hit.
So good.
So good. And super easy. We have a red sauce. It's a secret. It's in our club. You can only get it if you're in the club.
You can check the club down below. But yes, red sauce recipe is in the club.
And you know, I was searching one day, long story, I needed the red sauce and I forgot it was in the club. And so I just thought I'm going to Google other red sauces because there'll be something really similar. But there really isn't. It's very different.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. And so it uses the red sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And
we tried to do the meatballs. So it's got the red sauce, the meatballs, a little bit of cheese. And then
the garlic on the
garlic
bun,
the garlic butter on a baguette that's been cut. And you'll see it. It's so easy. And then it's like meatball mania.
And so we just were like, well, we want to make those again because it's been a while.
But when you buy the bag from Costco, you are committing to
It's
making a lot of meatballs.
And so we're like, we might as well. And meatballs are something that freeze really well if you make them on your own. So I'll put a link right there to a video of Christy making some meatballs from scratch. We also have a recipe in the club for Italian. Actually, it might be on the site also. Either way, it's in either both or just the club, but whatever. I'll put the links down below. That one also has our Italian meatballs, and that's from scratch too. So
and they're
obviously,
keto.
Yes,
those just so you know, they're keto. Because people ask, they want keto stuff, they're keto.
But if you want to make your own meatballs from scratch and freeze them, they freeze really well. They freeze beautifully. But you can also save yourself some time.
You can buy store-bought meatballs.
Buy store-bought, and it's okay. Because
there's good ones out there.
We're good with you cutting corners because this is about getting you and your family fed. It's not about doing everything from scratch and having it be perfect. So if
freezer meals don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be perfect. Yes, and if you're missing an ingredient, sometimes it turns out to be your favorite mistake.
Absolutely. So just go with what works, and hopefully today we'll show you how easy it can be to put together these meals. And you're going to be surprised, I think, by how much variety you can do just with some meatballs.
Totally.
So we've just used the giant, I'm going to grab them. So we've gone ahead and bought a couple of these giant bags of Italian-style meatballs from Costco. But really any store-bought frozen meatballs will do, or you use your homemade meatballs that you've made ahead and are already in your freezer, or you can make them up now and whatever and cook the recipes with them.
Yeah.
Even though these are Italian style and we're gonna be making some like more Asian inspired
And the
recipes,
Swedish meatballs, I mean, it's gonna have a gravy, but
it's okay.
it's okay.
It's
Just
all gonna work.
Get the meatballs in the bag and then you eat the meatballs. You'll be happy. It'll
So-
be okay. Oh, can I show you something on the back?
Yes.
There's a picture of Meatball Sub right on the back.
Ooh, fancy.
It is. It's like they knew that we were going to use them for this. What else do they have? They have, those are Swedish
That
meatballs.
looks like
And those are
Swedish meatballs.
Asian meatballs. See, even Costco says their Italian meatballs can be made with these
Totally.
kinds of flavors, and that's okay.
So we're gonna get to the recipes and join us, make these meatballs and Meatball Palooza. Is that Meatball Mania?
Meatball Extravaganza.
There you go. So first recipe that we're going to do is just simple cocktail meatballs. And I would suggest that you actually make a couple bags of these at a time because it's fantastic to be able to have them in your freezer and pull them out when you're going to be having a gathering. So if you're going to be having a New Year's party this year or people over during the holidays, this is a great appetizer and you can just cook them up in the slow cooker or on your stovetop and so perfect. Set out some toothpicks and you've got a really good hearty appetizer. So we're gonna do 2 pounds of our pre-cooked meatballs in a large freezer bag, a can of jellied cranberry sauce, 3/4 of a cup chili sauce, a little bit of brown sugar, and some lemon juice. You're gonna squish that all around in your bag to get it all combined. You're gonna take out as much of the excess air as you can because did you know that when you're doing freezer cooking, air is what causes the freezer burn?
Really?
I know I say that in every video, but if it's your first video, I have to
You
say
need
it.
to know. You're
absolutely
I'm being
have to know.
sarcastic.
I
I'm
know.
excited.
So then on the day that you go to cook this, you don't even have to thaw this. For a lot of our
No, you
recipes, you have to thaw them before you cook them. But for this one, honestly, you can just toss it into your slow cooker or big stock pot on your stovetop frozen.
Yep.
And heat it up and have it ready for when your guests arrive. If you wanted to make a meal out of this one, you could serve it on rice, but it's more designed to be an
It's a little on the
appetizer.
sweeter side, right?
Yep,
Yep. But it's good.
so good.
Charlotte entertains a lot, and I don't really like when you have big parties. It's a must-have for you. You always have a crock pot
Yeah.
with some sort of meatball in it. It isn't always this recipe, but it is.
Yeah,
always.
sometimes I do a honey garlic meatball,
Mhm.
which some of my kids really like. Other times I do a different cocktail meatball, which is just a jar of grape jelly and a whole jar of chili sauce. That's it. 2 ingredients plus your meatballs. That's it. And I've done that one frozen too. I did that before the holidays last year and froze it.
And it freezes well.
It freezes really well. So
Yeah.
I like to have, just because there's some people that haven't eaten before they come to your party. And if, honestly, if I host a party, they know
You
that
don't eat. You don't
shouldn't
eat before you go to Charlotte's house.
And so then, I've got all my little nibble appetizers and the dips and all that kind of stuff. But I like to have something that's a little heartier.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way. Like, there's a lot of meatballs happening. It's good. But one of our new recent favorites that we were just talking about are these Meatball Subs. You want 32 ounces of the meatballs, which is about 24 meatballs, because you have to think about how many baguettes you have and how many meatballs you're going to put on each one. So if you're making 6 and you put 4 on each meatball, you need 24 meatballs, or 4 on each baguette rather. A little bit of Italian seasoning, some minced garlic, some pasta sauce. It can be any kind of pasta sauce. In our case, we are using red sauce because it's so special. Then we're going to take some mozzarella that's shredded and put it in a bag, in a medium bag separately. And we'll take the garlic butter and soften it if it isn't already and spread it onto our cut baguettes. And then you can just freeze those separately and they freeze really well. On the day of, you want to take these out, put them in your slow cooker, let them get good and bubbly, let those flavors meld a lot. And then you're going to open up your baguettes and put them in the broiler and get them crispy. And then you want to put your meatballs on with the cheese on top and then back in the broiler. And you're going to let them get all bubbly and let your cheese start to brown. And then put your top on and you will have the best meatball sub. So good. Super delicious.
About the meatball subs is a lot of times when you have like a sandwich type of freezer meal, which isn't that often, but you know, we have our pulled pork or our barbecue shredded chicken or Philly cheesesteaks or, you know, but a lot of times you don't have the bun with it.
Right.
And so then those are the ones that end up kind of staying in my freezer for the longest because I have to actually be organized enough to plan ahead. And one of the nice things about freezer meals is I never have to think about planning ahead, and I don't have to go and get groceries, and I don't have, like, I rarely have to go to the grocery store. So for those ones, they do stay in my freezer the longest because I'm like, oh yeah, I have to remember to go and like to stop and get buns, or I have to remember to
I can't have the Italian wedding soup because I don't have fresh spinach. I have to think about it because I need to add the fresh spinach chopped at the time.
Right. Yeah. So then those are the ones that for me, even the things like the tacos and stuff like that it kind of gets left to the end when we're getting low on freezer meals, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have to sit down and do an actual grocery list. I'll actually have to plan. And
beyond
then I
just
use those.
Milk and
but
whatever.
The meatball subs, you've got your baguette with the garlic butter already in there and frozen, and so like the day you go to make it, you don't need to stop and get anything. You don't, like, it's all there. I love that.
Kids love this one. Dads love this one. Everybody loves this one. It's a good one.
It's the whole reason we made this video.
It really is.
I have been making these Asian meatballs since my kids were little. It's a pretty easy recipe to make, even easier when you make it as a freezer meal. So you've got your 2 pounds of meatballs that are already cooked in your bag. Then you're gonna add some minced garlic. We like to use the garlic from the jar, just saves us some extra dishes and work, and when you're making a lot of freezer meals at a time, it does save time. So we're gonna add some lime juice, some soy sauce, sesame oil, ground ginger, or we use ginger from the squeeze tube that we like because it's fresher, some green onions that are sliced, and then again, you're just gonna mix that all around, take out the excess air, freeze it. And on the day that you go to cook this, you can cook it either in the oven or the slow cooker. And I always serve it on rice. If you want, you can add some extra green onions for garnish or even some sesame seeds. This recipe, I'm gonna put a link to it down in the description below.
Similar but totally different are the sweet and sour meatballs. What we love about this one is that it's on a sheet pan. It's so easy and it's so delicious. So we start out with our 2 pounds of frozen meatballs in our bag. We're gonna add in some green beans. Do you know what? They're chopped, they're frozen, it's easy. You could use fresh if you wanted, but it's easier when they're already frozen. We're going to add pineapple slices that have been drained, some sliced onion, some brown sugar, some flour, water, soy sauce, and some ketchup. So we're gonna mix together the brown sugar and flour, and then we're gonna add the vinegar, water, soy sauce, and ketchup, and then pour it in as a sauce. We're going to seal it up and squish it all to combine, and then you want to remove that excess air because that is the enemy, and then we freeze it. And so when you go to cook this one, it could not be easier. You probably want to line your pan with either some parchment paper or some tin foil because it gets a little bit sticky because of the sugar. But you'll just cook it in your oven at 400 for 20 to 30 minutes. You can serve it with rice. You could serve it really with anything, but rice, maybe noodles would be good. But it is a hit every time.
And it's got your meat and your vegetables and fruit. It's got pineapple.
It's got fruit in it. Yeah, no, it really is good. It's a all-in-one. Well, once you get it on the rice.
And less dishes because it's a sheet pan meal.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen our sheet pan videos, maybe we could pop a link up for them. So what's special about this one is they're all sheet pan videos. They're all so easy, and you kind of get a chance to cook along with us because the idea is we're giving you a PDF that has all of the recipes on it. It has all of the prep you need to do, and you take that to the grocery store and get your groceries and do your prep, and then you can cook along with us in that video. And this is one of the ones in that video.
It even has your printable labels.
Printable labels.
Yay. So that's a really nice one. If you're not really sure if you want to start freezer cooking, you're not really sure where to start, that video, and we'll put the link down below as well for that video, is just a really great way to get started because we walk you through making all of these. And like Christy said, you've already got your printable shopping list and all of that, and your prep list. So everything is prepped, you have all the ingredients there, and we've set it up so that you're making 2 of each recipe. There's a lot of variety because there's chicken meals, there's beef meals.
There's that sausage, Cajun sausage.
Yes.
So good.
Really, lots of variety. And then you end up with 10 meals, which is a really great start to getting your freezer stocked. So definitely check that video out because it's a really, really good place to start.
Absolutely. What else have we got?
And today we are also making our Swedish meatballs. This is like the easiest Swedish meatball recipe. We're just gonna put our meatballs in the bag, 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, some sour cream, soy sauce, parsley, nutmeg, and pepper. And again, you're just gonna squish everything together to combine it, take out your excess air, seal it, and freeze it. And then on the day that you cook this, you thaw it, and you can either make it in your oven or your slow cooker. And this one can be done in the oven in 20 minutes. So if you've got a really busy night, you're taking kids to different, soccer games, piano lessons, whatever, or if you've got book club or work or whatever it is you've got on the go, you can have supper literally in your mouth 20 minutes after you get home.
Absolutely. Serve this on some egg noodles, or it's great with potatoes. You think about IKEA when you think of Swedish meatballs and the little baby potatoes.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And the nutmeg in there.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. It's just unexpected, and it elevates it a bit because really it's a couple of cans of mushroom soup. How do we dress it up a bit? You just a little bit of nutmeg.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a very good comfort food.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's it. We're so glad that you joined us today for our meatball extravaganza.
We're going to put a video right there for those sheet pan meals because we really do want you to actually do this with us. We so appreciate when you watch the videos. We love our subscribers. Thank you so much. But we also really actually want to make your life easier. So we want you to do this. So go check that out and give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing this for a long time. We know what we're talking about. and just trust us. The food is good. The method is good. And do it with a friend. It makes it a lot better.
It makes it so much more fun. And thank you for the birthday gift.
You're so
and the surprise. That was a lot of fun. And super unexpected. Thanks for coming today, and happy cooking.
Bye.